Lori here. I'm back. I'm back to start another reading vlog. I'm actually going to do 24 hours of reading. So it is 9:19, which means I'm going to read until 9:19 tomorrow. I did all my errands, my errandy stuff today. So I hope tomorrow I can spend a lot of time reading. I always say I'm going to try to do a 24-hour reading vlog. Always try. I never succeed. Today might be the day. Today might be the day. But let's dive into what I'm actually going to try to read. I am going to try to read Red Schools of Magic by Cassie Clare and Wesley Chu. I'm a little bit motivated to read this because I have a reading vlog that I'm in the middle of working on that I wanted to talk about all of the sorry, I'm choking on a pretzel. All the Shadowhunter canon books that I have read, and this is the only one that I haven't read, or I haven't read yet, so I wanted to read this before I finish that reading vlog, which you guys will see in a couple of weeks, probably in August. So this is the first one that I'm going to start. And then, because I'm not going to read fantasy for a bit, I decided to tackle Grave Maidens by Kelly Kuhn. I know nothing about this, to be honest with you. It says, three chosen maidens, 2 lovely sisters, 1 dark tradition. I really don't know anything about it, but the cover is super pretty, so yeah, so these are kind of my reading plans. As I said, it's about 9:20. So I'm gonna start reading The Red Scrolls of Magic, and I'll report back after I watch one episode of Stargirl. That's what I'm watching. So I'll report back in a bit. Bye, guys. It's Lori here. I'm back. It's about 10:45, and I did wind up reading about 38 pages in The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassie Clare and Wesley Chu. I'm really finding this book to be super fun, but basically it follows Alec and Magnus. I think it's directly after Heavenly Fire, or a little bit after that. I don't think that they're that much into Laban, but I think that that's the timeline that they're in. I'll look it up and double check. But they're basically on their first vacation after the war. And they wind up coming across a thing that Magnus did in his past. There's a cult that was established, and everyone thinks Magnus is the founder, but Magnus doesn't remember founding this cult. The only memory he has is making a joke of it. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So they basically have to uncover who is the real leader of this cult, so Magnus doesn't get blamed. But it's set in the very early parts of their relationship. As far as I know, you're only going to be in Magnus's point of view, which is something that I'm really, really liking. Because normally in any of the series I've read so far, you have moments of Magnus kind of floating in, and we've been in Alex. Alex had a lot throughout the whole series and subsequent series. But I'm liking it. I'm liking that it's an adventure, like a mystery story. I like that it's focusing on Alec and Magnus. I really do like their relationship. It's one of my favorite LGBTQ romances that I've ever read. I love that it's a slow burn, and I'm really excited to see them solve this mysteries. We got some cameo from one of my favorite characters from the Infernal Devices series, which is probably a little bit of a spoiler, but still I'm really liking it. I'm finding it to be super fun. I'm also really liking Stargirl. I said this before. There's not been a DC show that really has focused on high school aged kids. All of the shows that they normally focus on are on beyond college or in the professional world. So I think it's a fun dynamic and one that I'm thoroughly liking. So I'm gonna try to watch a couple of episodes tonight. It's already 11 o'clock, but I'm trying to stay up a little bit later while I have the ability to. So I'm going to go finish watching Stargirl, and when I'm done with this episode of Stargirl, I'll check in and let you guys know how much progress I have made. This is not a super long book. Normally Cassie Clare's books are 700 pages. This is only 350, so hopefully I'll be able to tackle a majority of it tonight. But I'll see you guys later. Bye. I'm back. It's about 11:30. But I do want to say that I got a few points wrong. This book is actually in the middle of it's actually in the middle of the series. So it's I think Fallen Angels. I think it's in the middle of that book. So Simon's still a vampire. Ragnarfell has just died. So it's actually in the it's in the middle of the Mortal Instruments series. It's not after. So it actually makes a lot more sense where they are in their lives. We had a little bit of scene with, we got to see some characters from them. That's how I got that information. So I am liking that. I also was wrong. We do also get Alex's perspective, which I actually like. I think that it's kind of important. But they're in a very, very difficult part. I would say they're in a very unique part of their relationship because like they're at the very, very beginning. So there's a lot of like miscommunications, and Alex and Magnus have always had a lot of communication issues. And that's really coming out in this book. But they are still hunting for the cult. And they're going to shadow markets. I don't really love the shadow markets. I just read the anthology Ghost of the Shadow Market where we got to see a bunch of different shadow markets throughout time. So I'm really, really liking that. We got a Simon shout out. I love Simon as a character. He's definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to reading. I'm gonna go watch a reading vlog and see if I can actually watch it. I might wind up falling asleep, but I am gonna try to stay up later than I normally do. Bye guys. Larry here. I am actually going to stop reading for the night. My eyes are really, really tired, and I really do want to enjoy this book tomorrow. One day I will do a 24-hour readathon. I will. I just have to like pick a day that like I can stay up later, or just, I don't know. One day. It's my dream, but I really want to enjoy what I'm reading, and this is a book that I'm really, really liking. But I really am liking it. I'm loving the dynamics, and I'll pick up with you guys tomorrow morning. Bye. A little bit unclear. I'm still going to be reading as much as I can tomorrow. I'm just not going to stay up all night and try to read because it just doesn't seem to be working for me right now. I'm really, really bad at that. I don't ever really stay up super late anymore, but it is my hope to one day maybe do it. But again, it's a hope. But I'm going to go relax. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Bye. Lori here, I'm back. It's about 9:30. I just wound up doing a bunch of my little errands. I had to do some Instagram posts. I am going to a yoga class, but I do want to make some more progress on the Red Scrolls of Magic before then. Right now I'm on page 73. It's definitely a more faster paced story, I'll say that. But I do like that we are getting both point of views of Alec and Magnus, and I do like that this is really a flash from the past story because it's a very different Alec and Magnus than I'm currently used to seeing, like in like modern storytelling, like in like the Wicked the Dark Artifices series. So it's a very different dynamic of characters. Characters are alive in this book that are no longer alive in the real series, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna go take a little bit of a break. Well, not a break, but I'm gonna go read before my yoga class, and then I'll come back and share my thoughts with you guys. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. I'm back. It's about 11:15. I'm actually gonna read a little bit more before I head to lunch and then go for a bike ride. But I did make it up to page 80 or 90, I guess. Page 90 in Red Scrolls of Magic. I am really, really liking it. I'm loving the character dynamics. I'm loving that they're kind of investigating together, and it's a much smaller group of characters. I have said this before. I sometimes struggle a little bit with really, really long battle sequences. That's just a thing because I tend to get lost a little bit in like the details of those scenes, and that's really what's happening right now in the story. But I really do like how we're getting both characters' point of view. I like how it's set in a time that we haven't seen in quite a while. Like this is during Fallen Angels, which is like way back in their history. So I am liking that. I'm liking that they're in like a different setting. I'm like that they're interacting with a lot of characters. I like that Alec is really the odd man out here because they are dealing with a lot of downworlders, and downworlder sympathy for them, for Shadowhunters right now, are at an all-time low. So I am like seeing those dynamics again. And I just love Alec and Magnus. I really, really love them as a couple, and I like seeing this this like element of their relationship because it really wasn't it we really did see a lot from Alec's point of view in those books, but not a lot from Magnus. So I really like that we're getting a nice balance, and they have like a side adventure. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. I am gonna go for a quick bike ride because I haven't gone today because I went to yoga instead. But I did wind up getting up to page like 111 or 110 in Red Scrolls of Magic. I also did get to part 2, which is what I wanted to do. And yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm really liking it so far. They have added a couple of people to their team to hunt for the cult that was founded in Magnus's name, and I'm really, really liking it. I said before that I sometimes struggle a little bit with like big battle scenes, but I do love Alec and Magnus as characters. So I'm gonna go read about 50 more pages, maybe a little bit more. Part 3 is 205 and I'm on 110. So my goal is to probably read that much at the park, but I don't know if that's possible, but I will try. And then I'll update you guys when I come back and let you guys know my thoughts. My goal is to read 2 books today. Again, don't know if that's going to happen, but I am trying my hardest. So, talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. We're here back to my outside seating spot because the sun's not that bad quite yet. But I do want to say that I did wind up making about, get to page 137 in The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassie Clare and Wesley Chu. Still really, really liking it. I like that it's a very, very solidified story. It kind of reminds me of, what was that book in? Tower of Dawn in the Sarah J. Maas series. Like, it's a very, very insular story, and like in all of the Cassandra Clare's books, there's like 1,000 different storylines. So this one is very, very simplistic because it only focuses on 2 characters and it only focuses on like one plot line. So it really is a lot of development. It's also very, very focused on their relationship. So I'm gonna go finish watching this true crime super long live stream and just kind of put it on as background noise. But yeah, I will update you guys when I get up to page 150. Bye guys. Right here. Sorry, another angle, but I did wind up getting up to page 160, chapter 14 in Red Scrolls of Magic. I really am liking that this book is like a hodgepodge of characters we've met in so many different series, and I like that because, as I said before, and I'm going to talk about this in my reading vlog that I'm doing where I kind of wrap up all the Shadowhunter books, she has such an impressive cast of characters. So it's like, you know, one book will focus on like 6 characters, but it's always nice that like some characters, especially because they're immortal, they may not be the focus of that series, but you do see them again. So I like that we are getting like a lot of smaller characters tied into this book, like all that are connected to Magnus. Like we've seen Katrina Loss again, we've seen Ragnar Fell, and a couple of other characters. But it's like, it's just funny remembering where this is in the time period because there's a lot more people that are allowed to be players in this game because they're all technically still alive, which I think is really interesting. But you could definitely tell that there's a lot of relationship dynamics with these 2 characters, and I'm really, really liking that because I think their relationship is not an easy one in the Shadowhunterverse. It's not like an easy relationship to be in, and I think especially the early part of it was a little bit more trying. But I do like that Alec is always remembering, like, he is a shadow hunter, and maybe sometimes being a shadow hunter means doing things that are not in Magnus's best interest, and I think that that's a really super interesting dynamic. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I will check in with you guys when I get up to page, like, 200. That's the goal. Bye, guys. Sorry, here, I'm back. It's about 3:14. I did wind up getting up to page like 190 in the Red Scrolls of Magic. It's definitely like more of like, it's funny. I'm watching Reagan's reading vlog, and she's reading the Harry Dresden books, and that's really what this book really reminds me of because it's definitely like a smaller cast of characters. There's a lot of different creatures, but it's still very much steeped in the Shadowhunter world. But it really is very, very much focused on their relationship and Alex's feelings about Magnus being accused of doing this cult, which that's clearly what happened. But it's like more complicated. So it's really focusing on their relationship and what has been happening. There's also a lot of battles, and they go to a lot of like different like locations. So it's very, very much fun. Very, very battle heavy, which I don't always love in my fantasy because I sometimes get a little bit lost in the details, but I really do like the characters. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I will update you guys when I read a little bit more. But right now I'm on chapter 17, so talk to you guys in a bit. Lori here, I'm back inside. I did wind up getting up to chapter, or page 200, and I got up to part 3, which is City of War, in Cassie Clare's Red Scrolls of Magic. Still really, really liking it. I'm definitely liking that the characters are kind of opening up to each other a little bit more, because that has always been a big problem in their relationship. They really have had a lot of communication issues. So I like that they're at least kind of tackling that. And I also like that in this story, Magnus is not necessarily a good guy, but he's very, very charming. Like, I just like Magnus as a character, so it is a very, very serious situation, but I do like his take on it. And I really, really like Alec. I also like seeing characters from the past, or the present, I guess, like other characters that I haven't seen in a while, or can't see in a while anymore. But I really am liking it. I'm going to take a little bit of an Animal Crossing break, and then I'm probably going to try to finish this. I don't think I'm going to get to start Grave Maidens tonight, but I will probably wind up completing this tonight. That's my goal. If I could finish this today, I would actually be really, really happy. So yeah, I'm gonna go play Animal Crossing for a little bit, and I'll check in with you guys when I'm done playing. Bye guys. Lori here, I'm back. Sorry for the lighting, it's a little bit weird. But I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to page 230 in the Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassie Clare and Wesley Chu. Still really liking it. One thing I'm loving about this book is that we get so many cameos from like other characters that we didn't really get a lot of time with, like in the main canon series. So I'm really liking that, and I just like the way that Alec is kind of teaming up with other Shadowhunters in a sense to kind of help him in the Magnus situation, and Magnus is trying to take it from the Downworlder point of view. But it does still show there are a lot of breaks and cracks in their relationship that we know develops into Heavenly Fire. So like we know where the story is kind of going. I guess I'm super curious to know when Book of the White is set. Like, is that set in this time frame, or is it set like in the future? I don't know. But when I'm done with this book, maybe I'll like investigate a little bit more. But I'm really liking it. I'm gonna read about 30 more pages, and then I'll probably update you guys. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Lori here, just checking back in. I did wind up getting up to page 250, which means I have about 100 pages left in Red Scrolls of Magic. I'm gonna read like 50 more pages. This book definitely took an unexpected twist. I'll say that. I wasn't expecting the villain twist. I'll say that. If I'm right, if like his red herring clues are correct. But I love the side characters that we're getting, because again, these are characters that we saw teensy bits of throughout the Mortal Instrument book, like at this point. But I just love like who he's teaming up with. I think it's a really cool like dynamic, and I'm definitely enjoying it. These characters that he's in this book are like very much prevalent in the Dark Artifices series, so I like kind of seeing them in the past, like before their story really kicked, because I think it shows you like about the development of their relationship. I don't want to be too spoilery, but still really, really liking it. So I'm gonna read about 50 more pages, and then I'll probably check in. I'm probably gonna go do a workout because I only did one today, but I am on track to finish this today, which is what I wanted. So talk to you guys in a bit. Here, it's about 6 o'clock. I did wind up reading up to page 278 in Red Scrolls of Magic. I am really liking the mini trio in this book. I just like it. I think it's a fun dynamic, and I'm really liking that we're learning a lot about Alec and Magnus in this book, but in very, very different ways. Like, it's a very, very fun story. One that I'm like easily gripped by. Very, very fast page. Again, I think I said this at the earlier part of this vlog. It reminds me a lot of Tower of Dawn, because it has such a small mystery, like a small scope, but it really does matter a lot to these characters. And I think that sometimes in like a big world like Cassie Clare's, sometimes the smaller storylines just get a little bit lost in the details. But I really am liking this. I love Alex and Malik. I love them a lot, and I just love that, you know, Alec is adventuring to save his boy. I'll say that. So I'm gonna go read about 20 more pages, and then I'll update you guys, and then I'm probably gonna go do a quick workout, and then I'm probably gonna tackle this for the rest of the day, which is good. But I'm actually happy I actually vlogged a lot more than I normally do on the weekends, because I wanted this to be a 24-hour reading vlog. So I'm happy that I have a bit more content for you guys than I normally do. But yeah, still really, really liking it, and definitely a fun read that I am pleasantly surprised by. I'm really liking the romantic elements of this book. It is LGBTQ, but I'm liking how it is a very, very different LGBTQ romance, and I'm really liking that. I'm liking the mystery. I'm liking the characters that we're seeing. So I'm going to go do a quick workout, and then I'm probably just going to tackle the rest of this. But I do want to say that I'm liking it. Definitely not my favorite. Like, I don't know. Well, we'll see. Like, I'm liking this. I'm liking it as like a side story. I do like that. I think it's a very fun way to kind of shrink down the series a little bit, and I think that that is so fun, and I'm loving the developments of the characters that we're getting. But yeah, it's a very, very fun read, and it's very, very short for Cassandra Clare, which doesn't normally happen, but I'm really liking exploring Magnus and these characters kind of in a different way, but also kind of so far past where we are in the Shadowhunter series, because you're kind of floating back a bit. So I'm going to do a quick workout, and then I'm going to come in, and I'm going to probably tackle the rest of this. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. About 8 o'clock, and I did wind up finishing The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassie Clare and Wesley Chu. I thought this book was really, really fun. It was such an adventurous read. I like that it solved some questions that I had about Magnus and Alex's relationship. I like that this was kind of like an offshoot of the major series. I like that we got to see a lot of side characters that really weren't given the time in that book. And I think if I remember correctly, it's been a while actually since I've read the main Mortal Instruments series. Magnus's point of view was always there, but it wasn't, you never really got a lot of information about Magnus. So this was like a nice book to kind of really dive into him. But it was also a nice starting book for their relationship, which I've said before throughout this vlog, like they have a very, very complicated relationship in this book series. And I'm really curious like where the more books in this series are going to go because I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely more of like an offshoot book, but it's and definitely like a smaller cast of characters. I kind of equated it a little bit to like Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, because that again was that was probably one of my favorite books in that series, to be very honest. But it was like a very, very smaller cast of characters and one that like I really wound up enjoying. So I did like the smaller cast of characters and I really liked who she kind of populated the world with. I thought it was an interesting time to set this book as well, like after book 3, I guess, like right in going into Fallen Angels, I think is when this is set. But I like that you did get tiebacks to the other characters. You get to see a little bit of them, but it was definitely more of an isolated, like, story. So I'm going to go choose my next read. I'm probably going to let this reading vlog go until, like, tomorrow, and then I'll probably start a new one. But I'm going to go choose what I'm going to read next, and then I'll report back and let you guys know my thoughts. Bye! Just checking back in. I also want to say that throughout this whole weekend, I have been listening to the read White Fragility. And I picked it up because I heard it was a very important read to be taking in during this time. But I also heard some slight criticism about it in reference that it's not written by a, it's written by a white woman, which, I think it's really important to have a wide range of anti-racist literature. So I think I can definitely connect to this point of view a little bit because I am a white woman and I've been in situations like that. But I also think it's equally important to read anti-racist literature from people that are in that community because they're going to see things that we're never going to see. So I am liking it. I think it's definitely like an informational read for me, and I'm really liking listening to it when I go for my bike rides. But I do want to say that I have been listening to that, and I am probably going to do a mashup review of all the nonfiction I read at the end of the summer because I am taking in quite a bit, and I do talk about it in my reading vlogs. But I do want to like do a roundup review since I don't really review them on Goodreads. But to wrap up this reading vlog, I am going to try to read Teen Titans Raven by Gabrielle Piccolo and Cami Garcia. I know nothing about Teen Titans. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. But I started reading this when I was in my yoga class, and I kind of got a little bit distracted. So I think I'm going to finish this as I'm watching Stargirl. And then from tomorrow, I'm probably going to start Keep My Heart in San Francisco by Amelia Day and Coombs. This is just a really cute summer contemporary read that I've picked up at ALA from Simon Pauls. It's supposed to come out in June. I think it got pushed and coming out this week in July. It's not great. It has to do with a bowling alley, a summer job. They have to save the bowling alley. I love books like that. So I'll probably talk about this a little bit more in my next reading vlog, but I did want to say this is kind of the next book that I'm going to read. But tonight I'm going to try to tackle Teen Titans Raven because I've had this for quite a bit of time, and I know the other ones have come out. So if I like this, whenever my library winds up opening, I'll probably try to get the other versions of this. But I'm gonna go do a few little things, and then I'll probably come back and I'll probably start reading Teen Titans Raven. Bye, guys. Lori here. Sorry, my hair's a little bit crazy. I just took a shower. But I do want to say that I am still watching Stargirl. I have like 45 minutes left in the episode, and I was trying to think what the show reminds me of. Reminds me a lot of Runaways. That was on Hulu. A lot. Like, it's a very similar premise, kind of. Like, there's the Injustice Society of America that is parents, and then there's the Justice Society of America that now are like a group of kids. So like, but then the parents also have kids. So like, I don't know. I'm curious like if it's gonna go the way I'm kind of expecting, but I really do like all the characters, so that's quite fun. And I also did start Raven, Teen Titans Raven, and I'm on chapter 4 called Teenage Wasteland. But basically what this is about a girl named Raven. The first like one chapter is like she gets into a car accident with her foster mom, and due to that car accident her foster mom dies and she has no memory of her past life. And it starts like saying like, oh, these bad things happen, but you never really know what those bad things are because she kind of loses all her memory. So she's sent to live with her foster mom's sister. She was gonna actually adopt her. And she kind of starts having like hallucinations because she could start hearing people's thoughts. So that's kind of cool. Like, I really, really like that. I love like people that could hear like telepaths. I think that that's like a cool power. It's also very, very hard on that individual, which you're definitely seeing. But I love the art style in this like a lot. Like it's very, very pretty. So I'm gonna go keep watching Stargirl and reading this, and I'll check in when I read a little bit more. Bye guys. Larry here. I'm just checking back in for the final time tonight. I'm gonna wind up finishing this early tomorrow because my eyes are a little bit tired. But I am really, really liking it. I think it's fun. I think I'm definitely gonna wind up checking out the animated series now that I think I have it on HBO Max. But I am really liking it. I will check in with you guys tomorrow and let you guys know what I decide I'll let you know what I decided upon watching tomorrow morning. Bye, guys. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's 8:54 in the morning, but I did want to reading a little bit more of Raven. So now I'm on chapter 12 of it. I really am liking this. I'm liking Raven as a character. I like that we're getting a little bit of sneak peeks of Beast, I think. So we're getting a few sneak peeks of him. But I'm going to go do my nonfiction reading for the day and my Skillshare class. I'm probably going to go for a bike ride. And then probably after that, I'll probably wrap up this reading vlog and start a new one for you all. Wow, it sounds southern all of a sudden. But yeah, so that's kind of my plan. I'm going to hopefully take my Skillshare class, do my nonfiction reading for the day, and then go for a bike ride. And when I come back, I'll probably be ready to start my next reading vlog and my next read for you guys. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Larry here, I'm back. I did actually wind up doing my nonfiction reading for the day, and I wound up taking a Skillshare class that was actually really interesting. It was talking about the 100-Day Project, which I've never actually heard of, but has inspired me a little bit. So I'm going to kind of think on that for a couple of days. I'm going to finish the course because I didn't actually finish it. But I'm going to probably go for a bike ride. I'm going to see if my dad wants to work out with me. If not, I'll probably go for a bike ride. I'm definitely going to finish Raven, and then I'm probably going to wrap up this reading vlog. But yeah, this turned into like a nice 24 hours of reading. Not exactly what I planned on reading, but I still really did enjoy Red Scrolls of Magic. So I'm going to go do this, and when I come back, I'm going to probably wrap up this reading vlog. Bye, guys. Hey guys, Laura here. I'm actually here to wrap up this reading vlog. I did wind up finishing Raven by Cami Garcia. I actually wound up really, really liking this book. I don't know much about Teen Titans, but I actually found the story to be super relatable and super easy to read. I really, really like the art style. I really, really like the characters. I like the focus on female friendship and found family. I thought it was such a fun read. I would wind up giving it 4 stars. I really hope that we get like another book in this because it kind of ended on kind of a cliffhanger. I know the next one coming out is Beast Boy, who I think we met in this one, like briefly. But I really wound up liking it. I thought it was super fun. I wound up giving it 4 stars. And also I finished reading Cassie's Claire's The Red Scrolls of Magic, which I would give like, I would say 4 stars. I found it to be such a fun side story in the Shadowhunterverse. I really like to focus on Alec and Magnus. I thought that it was a great side story. I got to see a lot of characters that were featured in the Mortal Instruments series that we didn't really get to see. And I just thought it was a fun romp. It was just fun. I'm really excited for book 2. So these are the books that I finished during this 24 hours roughly of reading. I'm going to go start my next reading vlog. But I hope you guys are staying safe and being well. And let me know what are some books in the comments that you are currently reading. Bye, guys.